Shalom Akim, all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashim, Yahushai Bashim, Kwakadash. Double honors to the Apostle of Great Millstone. Salutations to you, Akim, doing the work of truth and insincerity. And this is, another look at the SPLC, aka the Southern Poverty Law Center. So, they then basically updated their information on the Hebrew Israelites. And, we already know that they got us, the Israelites, basically on their hate group list as general hate. And I'm going to read some of the stuff they basically say about the Israelite groups. Disclaimer, SPLC uses the term radical Hebrew Israelite to differentiate from the greater Hebrew Israelite faith. Hebrew Israelites should not be confused with black Jews or Jewish individuals of color. SPLC no longer refers to these groups as solely black Hebrew Israelites, as there are Latin and indigenous members of these groups, and there are non-radical sects of Hebrew Israelite faith who identify as black Hebrew Israelites. So basically, now SPLC is recognizing that there are so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, or natives, aka Indians. We don't really use the term Indians because our people are not savage. The savage ones were the ones that took this land, by broken promises. And that's why we call them thieves or the devil. They got this land by deceit mostly. They didn't get it by open war as some Edomites like to romanticize. No, they got it by deceit. That's how you devils got this land. And you deceived our people who were actually willing to accept a number of you. But that's what happens when you let the devil in your land. They start to take bits and pieces until they have the whole thing. So, and I'm gonna read some more of this. The continued struggle of black indigenous people of color in America can find clear similarities in the narrative of Judaism, particularly the book of Exodus, particularly the book of Exodus. Persecution, displacement, and enslavement mirror the BIPOC experience in many ways, both historically and still systematically here in America. For most of the Hebrew Israelite community, the similarity is a source of empowerment and not cause for condemnation. Right, because the scriptures are a source of empowerment. The similarities between the so-called Negroes, Indians, and Latinos in the Bible are mirrored perfectly, and it doesn't fit the people who call themselves Jewish today. It doesn't fit them at all. As it is written, let me get this. Let me just type it in. Oops. Revelations 2 and 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Because the scriptures don't fit the people calling themselves Jews today. It doesn't fit them at all. But it fits the so-called Negroes, Indians, Latinos perfectly. And this is, and I'm reading this so you jakes out there would know the updated information on SPLC. They don't call us black Hebrew Israelites no more. They call us radical Hebrew Israelites. And we've done nothing radical except for tell the truth according to the scriptures. but I guess that's radical now. And of course, we're against the alphabet people, and they highlight that quite a bit in this in these paragraphs. And there's a lot, and I'm not gonna read it all. I'm gonna read a couple more paragraphs. You can read the whole thing yourself if you want to. But I'm gonna read a little bit more. For the radical Hebrew Israelite groups, however, the similarities are used as the foundation for their anti-Semitic beliefs. Now, in one sentence they say anti-Semitic, but then in another sentence they say we are Semitic. I mean that's the devil's writing, man. You know, and that it's farther down. A um, matter of fact, is right here. Uh, what? Um, Cannon and his guest Professor Griff laid out the theory that black people are the true Semitic people. So how can they say that we call ourselves the true Semitic people, but also call us anti-Semitic, have anti-Semitic beliefs up here? That's the devil, man. We're the true Semitic people, though. You know, and that's why you gotta watch you gotta really listen to what the devil says. So reading on, radical Hebrew Israelites appropriate, and we don't appropriate anything because it is our heritage. It is our history. The prophecies is written about us. And when you know, I looked up the definition of appropriate. I already knew what it was. However, you know, looking it up just for the Achim's sake, you know, but you Achim in the future, you already know. We look up words here, so you just so you know the meaning of words. Appropriate to take something for one's own use, typically without the owner's permission. However, we are the owners of this, so we're not appropriating biblical heritage. The ones that appropriated our heritage are the Jewish people. To claim an exclusive identity as the true chosen people of the Most High and decree Jews as the impostors and thieves. Yes, the Jewish people are actually the impostors and thieves. Yes, that is a very true statement. They are the imposters and thieves because they are trying to appropriate our heritage. They're doing the biggest identity theft known to man, and the other nations know that. These groups seek a divine form of dominance rather than equality. Yes, we seek a divine form of dominance because the Heavenly Father said Israel is going to rule over everybody, over all the other nations, and that it's in the scriptures, you know. By declaring superiority over other nations, biblical term for other races and ethnicity, and strict adherence to biblical literalism to legitimize their ideology. Yes, strict adherence. The law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible are going to be the laws of the land when we dominate under Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. They spread their beliefs through street preaching, often verbally harassing, provoking, and shaming any non-Israelite and those of their own community who don't follow their beliefs. Hey, we don't harass, provoke, or hey, if you feel ashamed, that's on you. How you feel is up to you. We don't harass you. We don't provoke you. Hey, matter of fact, if you don't like it, when we out there preaching on the streets, guess what? Walk up the street if you don't like it. We're prophesying to the wind, as the scriptures say. And if you happen to listen, hey, that's on you. And guess what? The people of our nation that do listen can possibly be saved, possibly have salvation out of the coming destruction. This can be harmful to alphabet people of color. Hey, Look, if the truth is harmful, then I guess so. Within their communities, especially alphabet people of these different of these different titles, radical Hebrew Israelites have definite abhorrence of relationships between Israelites and Caucasian people as they relate them to the devil. Now, this is a lie. This is a lie. You can an Israelite man can be with any nationality of woman that he wants, because they will definitely be our concubines in the kingdom anyway. However, what is wrong is denying your heritage for another nation. Don't care what woman you with. Don't think that an Edomite woman, if you're with an Edomite woman on this side, that she's going to make it in the chariots. She doesn't have salvation. You know, however, if you have children by this said Edomite woman, hypothetically, guess what? Your children will be saved. You know, you and your children will be saved. But Esau don't have salvation. The other nations don't have salvation. But no, we don't have a defined abhorrence of relationships. We don't. Your relationship is your relationship. And on top of that, they say Caucasian people, look, we always teach that there are confusion of faces. And there's a lot of our people that actually look like the other nations that we were enslaved in. So some Israelites may look like a Caucasian and not be a Caucasian, and may even be our people. So all of this is all BS, you know. However, Edomites are the devil. And the word devil, and I'm going to go ahead and look this up, because, like I say, we look up words here. And I'm looking it up, you know, just because, even though I know the meaning of it. All right. So, the word devil yep, you should have known that. There we go. Devil, Christian, Jewish belief, chief evil spirit, Satan, belief in the devil, a person with specific characteristics, a lucky devil. Verb, act as junior assistant for a lawyer. No. Harass to worry someone. Nope, that's not it either. Matter of fact, let me go to when all else fails, always go to the etymology, because the etymology basically gives you the root words, the truth of the root words. So, when you look up the word devil, it means devil, Old English, subordinate spirit, afflicting humans, devil power spirit, let's see, ecclesiastical, there it is. Well, Christians use the devil, Satan, which generally meant accuser, slanderer. That's it. Accuser, slanderer. To accuse or to slander. Basically, deceive. Looking for the exact one. But basically, that's it. Devil is to accuse, to slander, or basically to deceive. That's basically what it is. So yes, we are right to call them the devil. Because what do? They accuse us and they slander us. We're not black, because black is associated with everything wicked. They are not white because white is associated with everything pure. They basically show all the bad deeds that our people do, and basically justify all the deeds that their people do. So they are the devil. They are the accuser. They are the slanderer. They are the deceitful people. Not only does this ideology further marginalize members of the communities, but it also parallels toxic power structures that are common on the far right. And they say toxic power structures. Basically, if you know about politics, the far right, the left and the right, the left liberals, the right, shoot, well, what's the word? I forget what they call the right, you know. But the left and the right, and the left is basically liberals, and the right is like Republicans, or people on the right basically prefer traditional values. People on the left prefer these new uh, beliefs that they came up with, as in the alphabet people. That's basically the left. All these new ideas and new beliefs, and the right is basically traditional values, and mainly the traditional values come from the structure set up in the Bible. That's basically it. And I'll read a few more lines. These and here it is again, anti-Semitic. These anti-Semitic beliefs influenced the mainstream as well. In a 2020 episode of actor and comedian Nick Cannon's podcast, Cannon's Class, Cannon and his guest, Professor Griff, laid out the theory that black people are the true Semitic people. So if they basically saying that, if they laying out the theory that the so-called black people are the true Semitic people, how can they be anti-Semitic? I mean, there you go, the slander, the accusations and the slander, man, because they basically tell on themselves in their own writing. You know, Cannon claimed that Jewish people, have taken our birthright, although neither Cannon nor Griff are known to be members of the RHI. So that's the new acronym they got for the Hebrew Israelites, the brothers that's out there prophesying on the street now. This idea is at the core of radical Hebrew Israelite beliefs. A shared view among the people is their claim that Jews are actively working to steal the identity of the Hebrew Israelites by any means necessary. A very true statement. The Jewish people, the Edomites, the Amalekite Edomites, are trying to steal the identity of the true Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negroes, Indians, Latinos, by any means necessary. Just like it says in the Bible, you know. Esau is trying to get that birthright from Jacob, but the birthright was never meant for Esau. The birthright was going to go to the younger son. The older shall serve the younger. So the birthright was never Esau's. However, Esau is trying to steal that birthright by any means necessary. Cannon and Griff also presented the idea that Jews control the media, which they do. Specifically, specifically that all media is controlled by 6 major companies. They further insinuated the Jews were connected with these 6 companies. Cannon brought up the Rothschild conspiracy, which is just a Rothschild fact. Cannon followed up by denying these statements were hate. Of course, he was pressured into denying everything he said on that podcast. You can't be anti-Semitic when we are the Semitic people, and that's a true statement. You can't be anti-Semitic if we claiming we are the Semitic people. It just don't make no sense. When we are the same people who they want to be, that's our birthright. After being confronted over his comments, Cannon walked them back, saying, "I do not condone hate speech, nor spread the spread of hateful rhetoric." And this right here, after being confronted by his comments, he had to retract what he said. Who was he confronted by? The Jewish people that own the media, and they had him retract what he said by saying he doesn't condone hate speech or the spread of hateful rhetoric. Why? Because they consider it, the Jewish people consider it hateful rhetoric. But it's just the truth. The so-called Negroes, Indians, Latinos are the true children of Israel according to the Bible, and you so-called Jewish people, the ones calling yourselves Jewish today, you are not the true Israelites. You are trying to steal the identity of the true children of Israel. That's what you're doing. The black and Jewish communities have both faced enormous hatred, and that's not true because the Jewish communities didn't face anything. Read the book, Did 6 Million Really Die? Oppression, persecution, and prejudice for thousands of years, and in many ways have and will continue to work together to overcome. No, we're not going to work together to overcome obstacles. The scriptures say what it say. Esau found no place of salvation, though he sought it carefully with tears, roughly paraphrasing. He has committed to educating himself on anti-Semitism, which is bullshit. Why? Because the fake Jews, the Jewish people, own the media. They basically threatened to take his money, take his platform or whatever. But hey, that's how these devils operate anyway. And like I said, you can read the rest of it if you want. However, I'm just gonna read one scripture, and I'm gonna end it right here. This is James chapter 2:19. Thou believest there is one power, thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. So, this is just basically letting you jakes know, hey, these devils know. They know about us. They're constantly updating their information on us, and yes, they do consider us a hate group. And we're not a hate group. We're a truth group, So with that, I'm going to say Shalom. All praise and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Kwakadash. Double honors to the Apostle Great Millstone. Salutations to you. I can do on the work in truth and sincerity. Shalom.